So this is the cover crop trial behind us, and so what did we see during the season of implementing this demonstration? Establishment, late August, using the DTS strip till drill, which we've been putting all our cover crops in with for the last few years. Gives it a little bit more extra ground shattering when it's hard, just gives it a bit more soil conditioning. The mix that we put in was sunflowers, phacelia, rye, some oil radish, and probably one that I've forgotten, but that's the sort of mix that we did. And the establishment was good, straight behind the combine, rolled down, and came well, but then we had that dry period sort of through September, which then slowed the biomass and slowed the growth down. On the plough, where we had to plough it, we then released all the moisture, we then knocked it about, we then put the combination unit in, stirred it up even more, lost even more moisture, and so the establishment was much more slower and more erratic on the plough field. As it went through winter, the biomass increased. It suddenly got a real pickup, sort of probably mid-October, early November, and we saw an increase in the biomass. And then we actually sprayed it off. This time, with the ground conditions being so wet, we delayed it, got delayed even further, and so it was actually sprayed off just after Valentine's Day in February. And then we established our spring barley into the top with a direct drill. The establishment of spring barley, this spring barley has actually been undersown with grass seed as well at the same time, so we're sort of worrying about small grass seed and barley going in. And where the cover crop was the ground was much moister. Where the stubble was left, it had dried out much better, and so we had actually erratic establishment due to the changes in the field. If we were doing the whole field, we probably wouldn't have drilled the cover crop bit, but we would have drilled the stubble bit, so that's obviously showed that it's dried out quicker, but we couldn't do it because it's a split field trial. Then across the road with the plough, we found it had baked solid, gone absolutely rock hard, and the drill was skating around on the surface. But where the cover crop was, there was a bit more moisture retained, so the actual drill and the barley came better. So there's some observations on the establishment. My love-hate relationship with cover crops continue. When you seem to get things right, they're always, the next season flips it, or you try and you think you sussed it, and it just doesn't seem to play ball all the time. So still a lot to learn. I see cover crops being a critical role going forward with the government planning and the public money for public good and the environment, land management, the elms. And I can see all the worth, the biodiversity, the nutrient absorption, preventing it going on drains. But when it comes to a farming point of view, I am sort of flicking back and forth about, is it actually benefiting my bank account or is it actually been detrimental? Yes, long-term thinking, I can see all the worth, but short-term, am I getting many gains? At the moment, it's probably costing me more money than I am. But this is the whole point of these exercises and these long-term demonstrations that we're doing within the strategic farm. So that's my honest opinion. I would say cover crops, love-hate relationship with me at the moment, but we'll have to sort of learn to get the most out of them, and hopefully this demonstration, when we get the results meeting, will show that my spring barley has yielded more with the cover crop than without it, but time will tell. So we'll keep you posted on this, and look forward to discussions online.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate Smith. I'm a soil scientist from ADAS. I work in ADAS's soils and nutrients team. I'm going to give a quick summary of the cover crop trial, which is taking place as part of Strategic Farm East. The objective of the demonstration is to determine the role of cover crops in reducing nitrate leaching losses. And the demonstration is taking place in two fields on Brian's farm, at Apple Tree and at Blacksmith, both of which are on sandy loam soils. The cover crops are being established by two different methods. So they're drilled either following ploughing, as on apple tree, or established using a one-pass system. The two fields are split in two and to give a split field design and an area with and without a cover crop. And these treatments are positioned to fit in with the drainage system. And this allows drainage water samples to be collected from areas with and without a cover crop, which is something that Brian has been doing across his farm for several years now. Assessments as part of this trial include assessing cover crop establishment, biomass, and nitrogen uptake. For the spring crop, we'll be also assessing establishments, crop yields, and nitrogen uptake. In April this year, we carried out a series of soil assessments, and this included taking topsoil analysis, soil nitrogen supply, so measuring soil mineral N down to 90 centimetres and above ground biomass, and also a series of soil structural assessments such as VES, penetrometer, and bulk density. We've also been measuring the impact of the cover crop treatments on earthworm populations. As mentioned, Brian has been sampling the nutrient content of the drainage water over winter, and this has been analysed by Essex and Suffolk Water. The fields are both included in the pests and natural enemies monitoring, which has taken place across Brian's farm this year. And this slide just shows in a bit more detail some of the site details and cover crop establishment. So the cover crop consists of 5 different species, so that's rye, buckwheat, phacelia, or radish and sunflowers. These have been drilled at 20 kilograms per hectare. They were drilled at the end of August and then destroyed on the 13th of March using glyphosate. The following crop is the spring barley, and that was drilled on the 28th of March. The pictures on this slide demonstrate the establishment of the cover crop, and they were taken on the 2nd December 2019. And basically, the cover crop establishment on the one-pass system was better compared to the ploughed system, i.e. cover crop on the one-pass system had greater biomass and there was more even cover compared to the ploughing. This slide summarises the drainage water nitrate concentrations measured from November to February. Nitrate concentrations are in milligrams of nitrate per litre, and each of the bars represents the concentrations from each of the treatments. So the ploughs in the green, the overwinter stubble in the orange, the cover crop established by ploughing is in the blue, and the cover crop from the one-pass system is the darker grey blue bar. And we can see that the higher nitrate concentrations in the drainage water have originated from the ploughed and overwinter treatments, and these are higher compared to the cover crop treatments, which indicates that it's likely that more nitrate was leached from the ploughed and stubble treatments compared to the cover crop treatments over winter. Also, on the cover crop one-pass system, the nitrate concentrations from this treatment are consistently below the EC drinking water nitrate limit of 50 milligrams of nitrate per litre. And that probably reflects the better establishment of this cover crop. So this slide summarises the soil nitrogen supply in kilograms of N per hectare. We measured soil mineral nitrogen in the autumn, that's the blue bar, and then again in the spring, that's the brown bar, and in the spring we measured above ground biomass N content. And in February 2020, the ploughed and the stubble treatments have a lower soil mineral content compared to the cover crop treatments. And this supports the results or the indications that we had from the drainage water concentrations for higher nitrate leaching losses on the non-cover cropped treatments. The spring soil nitrogen supply and the above ground biomass nitrogen measured in spring indicate that mineralisation had taken place over winter, with around 25 to 30 kilograms extra being in these treatments. And basically this shows that the cover crop was doing its job and was retaining that nitrogen. And without that cover crop there, that nitrogen would have been susceptible to, and would have been leached over winter. So next steps, as mentioned, we've carried out a series of soil structural assessments in April. This included the VES, Visual Evaluation of Soil Structure, penetrometer, bulk density and earthworm counts. We want to analyse this data to see if we can pick out any differences between the different cover crop treatments. At harvest, we'll be carrying out yield mapping to see if we can pick up any effect of cover cropping on the spring barley yields. And for example, to see if there's any evidence that some of the nitrogen that's been saved by that cover crop treatment is made available to the spring barley crop. And we hope to present all the results from this trial at the HDB results day in November. Thanks.